Hello and welcome. It's the Hoops Dramas podcast. I'm Adam Shalfood, joined by Leo Coleman via Zoom. The miracles of modern technology, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
Living the dream, man. Been
There you
on the
go.
grind lately. Uh, been enjoying these NBA playoffs. It's kind of weird. Seems like they weren't well received this year. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the NBA playoffs aren't good. Only one game's gone to overtime." I think they've been great. We got a 7-game series. We both expected a 7-game series out east. Honestly, if I could change, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but if I could change one thing about the playoffs, it would be John Morant not getting hurt because,
Absolutely.
yeah, because that really did change the complexion of that series. And uh, that was the toughest opponent that the Warriors faced on their way to the finals. They kind of made quick work of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. Um, which I anticipated. Yeah, definitely John Morant getting hurt kind of put a damper on that series because it was a very fun series to watch and seeing the Warriors have to figure out a piece to the puzzle. The Warriors were having trouble with them, and it was kind of interesting to see the Warriors adjust to it. And again, I mean, unfortunately, Ja gets hurt, and I mean, the rest is history.
Yeah. And I guess you could say the same thing. Obviously, he's not the guy on the team, but who knows? Maybe there's some alternate universe where there's a healthy Chris Middleton and a healthy John Morant, and it's the Bucks Grizzlies meeting in the finals. But that's how these things go. Maybe in that same alternative universe, Derrick Rose is a multiple champion with the Chicago Bulls, never blew out his knee, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, we'd all be rich, as you like to say.
I love it. I love how you always bring up. I think D Rose has more appearances on the Hoopstradamus podcast than Adam Shalafu.
He might. Don't make me go get my jerseys,
Oh, I got 3 or 4 in my closet too now.
Which ones do you have?
Pinstripe,
Okay.
the black pinstripe one, the all red one with the I want to say it was kind of like the statement jerseys
Was that
back
I think it
then.
was the Christmas Day one, the
The
all red.
Christmas, that's exactly what it was. The Christmas Day one, and then I have the other Christmas Day one with just the bull on the front. Back when they were
Yeah.
rocking sleeves.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have, I think that's it. Yeah, I got 3 of them. Yeah, I got 3 of them. The other one is the Rondo, the non-black Rondo.
Oh, that's fresh. I got 2 Rose
Celtics.
jerseys. I got the a red autographed one from my Uncle Rich Nantsu. Shout out to Uncle Rich Nantsu. And then I got a black one. No, I got 3 too. I got a black one just with Chicago on the front, and then I got a red one, Los Bulls.
Los
And
Bulls.
I remember that some dude wasn't even a Bulls fan. He almost bought that. And then I was like, I can't, no. And I bought it immediately. End of the shift, back when we were working at Chicago locker room together. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yep.
So
Yep. One of the luxuries of working in a sports apparel. You got first pickings, put yours in the back. They come in there. Hey, you got a medium in that rose white?
we don't anymore.
No. We actually sold the last one yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just called. They need this now. Sorry.
That person being me. So
yeah.
sorry.
Just got a call from myself. Very important. Anyway, we'll be talking obviously NBA Finals, the 2 teams to make it out, Celtics and Warriors, of course. And we'll hit you with some fun facts. We'll do a little pop quiz. We'll talk about a finals preview, some X factors, and then finally we will make any predictions. Before we get into that, do you have any closing thoughts? Maybe a eulogy speech for the Miami Heat? That was a tough way to go out, man. They fought all the way back. But man, I just think the Celtics were the better team at the end of the day.
The going back to our previous episode when we made our predictions about that series, I picked the Heat in 7. But I mean, injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
like you really like it derails all of your plans, all your predictions, because as banged up as the Heat were, they went down swinging.
Yeah.
I knew Jimmy Butler, as you know how I feel about Jimmy Butler. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but at the same time, I love him because he's just a workhorse out there on the floor. When when they were going to Boston down 3-2, I knew Jimmy Butler was not going to let them lose that game, which brings it back to Miami for Game 7, and they got a tough break, and basketball God said, I guess this time it wasn't in their favor to win that game with some of the questionable calls, but. I mean, you got to give props to the Celtics, and I mean, we'll save this for later in the episode. But I mean, they honestly, they are the team who can beat the Warriors.
Ooh, cryptic.
Yeah.
Little tease there. All right. Yeah, Tyler Hero's healthy. Maybe it goes the other way. I will stick to what I tweeted the other day before that game. I didn't
What'd
know
you
which way
tweet?
it was going to go, but basically I said, I think the Celtics are the better team. I think the Heat are the tougher team. And even though the Heat lost that game, I think they proved just how tough they were. It reminded me of a Rocky movie, and the Heat are Rocky, but life doesn't always have a happy ending. They just got pummeled, man. They took so many huge punches, and it's interesting, the internet's going crazy that night about Jimmy Butler taking that shot. I got no problem with him taking that shot. He had an open look, and if he hits that shot, that's all we're still seeing on Sports Center in the Heat or in the finals. But
And
you
you're
had to
talking about the shot you're talking about is that pull up 3 in transition.
yeah,
The put the kids to bed shot that he missed.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you know what? You can go in, you got Horford, but Horford's a good rim protector. You can try to go in on Horford, but you have enough space for that shot, and it's to take the lead. And then you put all that pressure back on Boston. But I am not okay with these armchair point guards. That people always say armchair quarterbacks. I'm going to say armchair point guards. All these armchair point guards, like somebody online was, Jimmy Butler failed in the biggest moment. No, girlfriend. Let me tell you, Jimmy Butler's the reason they're in that series. He's the reason they're competitive in that series. And he's the reason they're in that game. And it's not just about making shots, it's about taking shots. And sometimes you don't hit them. But Jimmy Butler, he had an open look, he took it, he happened to miss. You can't blame him for missing that shot.
He's your best player.
Yeah. That's the guy you want taking that shot. You can say what you want about Jimmy Butler's percentages, but he's hit clutch threes throughout his career. Clutch threes in Chicago, clutch threes in Miami, clutch threes in Philadelphia, probably a clutch 3 or 2 in Minnesota even, he was there for a handshake and a lunch. But I think that, now I am going on a tirade. I think there's no philosophy necessarily like in basketball, or maybe I got it the other way around. There's no basketball in philosophy, but there's a lot of philosophy in basketball. And my philosophy on that particular shot is you take it, you hopefully make it. But in life, like basketball, you have to take the shot. And if he makes that, it's obviously received differently, but it's just 2020 hindsight to say, oh, that was a horrible shot.
Well, I mean, what you have to understand is these armchair point guards that you're talking about. they don't really understand the flow of that game. I
Exactly.
mean, I already knew he was going to take that shot. I mean, they had just, it was, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the Celtics came down out of a timeout, and then the Heat got a stop,
Yeah.
and they to take out, even take out the coming out of the timeout part, because that it didn't even matter. Like, the Heat had momentum in their favor. It was like two stops. They got two stops.
Something like an 8-0 run or something.
Yes, and then your best player is coming down has a mismatch. Al Horford's guarding him. I mean, that's the matchup you take. Yes, he could have gone by him and got to the rim and possibly gotten fouled,
or he gets blocked.
But I mean, if you got a big man on his heels in transition, he backing up. I mean, your momentum. You're at home. I'm taking that shot. I'm taking that shot. I'm sorry.
Well, you're making that shot.
I don't know if I'm making it, but I'm taking it.
I've seen you play. You're making that shot. And then Sports Center says Leo Coleman saves the day.
I don't know about Sports Center. No, I'll stick to this side of the screen because that's a whole lot more pressure when you got 40, 50,000 people watching you when you in a game to go to the big game. So, I mean, not to take anything from myself. I can hoop. Hoopstradamus audience, I can hoop. I am a very solid hooper, but I'm
best
not a
player on the staff.
caliber.
I'll give you that title easy.
I think Stefano would have to argue that, but
okay,
yeah.
True. You and Stefano are definitely the two best.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Enough about me. I'm trying to be humble these days.
All right. Well, I guess that's enough about that. Let's jump into some fun facts. Let me hit you with a fun fact. This is the first time the two most efficient defenses have met in the finals since 1996, Chicago Bulls and Seattle Supersonics.
Nice. And I kind of last week, as we were doing the prep for that episode, I saw that the Celtics and the Warriors were the top two defensive rated teams. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. So going into this finals, I wouldn't expect it. I would expect it to be super high scoring or super low scoring.
Yeah.
That's cool. Both
teams can light it up.
Yeah. And both teams are very, very smart when it comes to making adjustments.
Yeah. And they both have defensive versatility. I took the over on 197 total points in that game.
For what game?
For Game 7, Celtics Heat.
What was the score?
100-96. I was close.
But you took the over.
I took the over. Enough. Yeah, not close enough. So it was a bad bet at the end of the day.
I feel like when defensive teams are involved, man, take the under, man. I always take the under because that's what they do. They stop people, man.
Yeah. And I feel like, especially with the Warriors, so many people, and rightfully so, they talk about how prolific their offense has been in the Steve Kerr era and, the Splash Brother era, but they usually have the best defense in the league.
They're really good defensively. Steph Curry, I was talking to the players earlier today at practice. Steph Curry is an underrated defender. He is a very good defender. Very, very good defender. And then you got Klay Thompson, one of the probably top 2-3 defenders in the league, on-ball defenders, and then obviously Draymond Green, the anchor in that defense. So and then you got just length all around there. Yeah. So
Wiggins turned into a pretty good defender.
Wiggins, yes, from the weak side, swatting, dunking on Luka.
Yeah. All right, hit me with some fun facts. We'll go a little back and forth. Fun facts.
Gotcha. So this number is the same amount of seasons that the Celtics have missed the playoffs as the number of championships they have as a franchise. That number is 17. They've missed it. They are out of 76 seasons. They've only missed the playoffs 17 seasons, which is the same number of championships they have as a franchise.
Or 75, I guess. Or is this I don't know how that works because it's the 75th anniversary season.
So 46 to 2022.
Yeah.
We're amidst
46,
the
47. Yeah.
Math class.
Yeah, whatever. 75, 76, whatever it is. Pretty damn impressive.
But yeah, yeah, I mean, to only miss the playoffs 17 times.
Yeah, to have as many championships as you have times you miss the playoffs, that's not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. What you got over there?
Kind of going off that. Yeah, so the Celtics have won 17 championships out of 21 finals appearances. The last one, of course, coming their last win in 08 with Rondo, Pierce, Garnett, Ray, and that was a super fun team.
Posey.
Yeah. Kendrick, Perkins. PJ Brown. I love me some PJ Brown.
Yeah, man. That was a solid team.
I saw a video the other day. I think it was like Charlie Ward or something. PJ Brown picked this dude up and just tossed him on his head. It was that famous Heat Knicks brawl, you know.
I saw that too. Yeah, he just picked him up, threw him over there in the camera, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna just dropped him on his head. Jeff Van Gundy comes running out, grabbing onto Alonzo Mourning's ankles. All hell ensues. It's great reality TV.
Nice. All right, check this one out, Shalafu. I'll ask you. As a fun fact to see if you know, since you are our Hoopstradamus statistician, thanks to basketballreference.com, who on the Warriors in the playoffs, in this year's playoffs, who on the Warriors first, who has the highest usage percentage?
I feel like it's gotta be Steph, but the sneaky answer.
All right. No, that's right. All right. So who's number 2?
Draymond.
No.
Jordan Poole?
Kuminga.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
No,
and it
way.
Makes sense. It makes sense. It makes so much sense when I look at it because his upside is incredible. Like they're trying to develop him and get him ready. Just like I heard you listening to a Steve Kerr interview right before we hopped on, and how he was talking about the Warriors, their mentorship program. And when I saw that, I was like, that makes perfect sense. They're John, and we can get into this later into the episode, but Kuminga, I think, is going to be one of those X factors.
Okay.
He has to be. But yeah.
Love that. The final fact, or the final fun fact, or mine, is the last time these two teams met in the finals was 1964. It was the Celtics' 6th straight championship. You're going back to Bill Russell against Wilt Chamberlain. And I just think that's so cool when you consider the fact that it is the 75th anniversary season. We're doing all this to celebrate the history of the game, and that these two teams happen to meet in the finals. In the significance of that, you have the Celtics, who are the league's true greatest dynasty, in that era, 11 championships in 13 years. And then you go to this season in 2022 NBA Finals, where you have the new potential dynasty. Maybe they have to win this for it to be considered a dynasty. Maybe it's a dynasty already, but 6th championship appearance in 8 years for Golden State. It just has a lot of karmic connections. It's very ironic. It's poetic. It's beautiful.
And you would have to say just to add to that, I'll say this first. Let me backtrack. I'll go back to that 64 finals for my last fun fact. Okay. Because you mentioned Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. So in that playoff series, which was only 5 games, the Celtics won 4-1. The the total Wilt Chamberlain had a total amount of rebounds through 5 games of 138.
What?
So you had 138 total rebounds through those 5 games. The next closest person on his team was Nate Thurman with 65. That's just for the Warriors, okay? And now we go to the Celtics. Bill Russell's total rebounds for that series was 126.
Wow.
Through 5 games.
I'm breaking out my calculator.
I can give it to you. He averaged 25 rebounds a game. Bill Russell, 25.2. And Wilt Chamberlain averaged 27.6 a game.
It's a lot of rebounds, a lot of missed shots.
A lot of missed shots. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about a battle of the boards, you know?
Yeah. That's a great one. All right. Now it's time to hit me with a little pop quiz, Leo. What you got for me?
Okay. All right. So back in 1964 finals, it's the easy one. The Boston Celtics were, of course, in Boston. Where were the Warriors?
Philadelphia.
Oh, guess again.
No? San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Oh, dang. Okay.
San Francisco Warriors. So I'll put a red X by that one.
All right. So I got to go best of 7. I've already taken I just lost game 1.
No, well, this is best of 3. So you gotta win the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's already game 5. I just lost game 5.
Yeah. Which is a pivotal game. In that series, this is an easy one. Because you just said it. In that series, first off, who won the series? And I already gave you answer. I gave you the answer. Who won the series and what was the series?
Celtics 5-1.
4-1.
4-1.
Dang, bro, you almost missed that one again.
Yeah.
I give you that one though. I give you that.
You know what I meant.
Yeah. All right. So last question. It's a tough one. In game 2, Wilt Chamberlain led the game in total rebounds and total points. So it's multiple choice. Were his total points between 20 and 30, 31 and 40, or 41 and 50 total points?
I'm pretty confident that it would be between 41 and 50.
That is incorrect, sir.
30 and 40?
He had 32 points.
Really? So they bottled him up.
Yeah, they bottled him up.
I mean, it's not bottling up anyone else, but Wilt Chamberlain, the guy who's averaged 50 in a season, that's bottling him up.
He never scored over 30. He never scored over 35 in his series.
All right, Russell, I see you.
Yep. And as far as rebounds, in that same game, were his total rebounds between 10 and 20, 21 and 30, or 31 and 40?
21 and 30.
25 rebounds. That is correct, sir. So, in game 2, Wilt Chamberlain led. Actually, in game 2, game 4, and game 5, Wilt Chamberlain led all players in total rebounds and total points, which is impressive.
Yeah. Not necessarily surprising, but impressive.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, probably the most statistically impressive player of all time when you look at just the mind-boggling numbers of prime Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. He also led in game 3. He led game 3 in total points, but Bill Russell led in rebounds, 32.
And I just pulled up that final series. So it looks like Sam Jones was the Celtics leading scorer, 21.2 points per game. Interesting. John Havlicek. No, I specifically didn't look at this until after we did the quiz, but I was wondering, like, was Kuzi on there? Doesn't look like he was, but a lot of legends. Tom Heinsohn, Bill Russell, Tom Sanders, Havlicek, Sam Jones, KC Jones. Amazing history.
Amazing.
All right, let's go back to the
well done,
future.
sir. Well done. You did a good job. But for you to have not been born for 30 something odd years, you knew a lot about 64. So that's awesome.
I'll take it.
I tip my hat to you.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go back to the future. So we got the finals start Thursday, and man, all that it took to get here. And like you said, I think you hit the nail on the head. Both these teams so good defensively. In the Celtics, I think they're the only team in the league, definitely the only team besides like a healthy, maybe Memphis, or a healthy Milwaukee that can actually match up. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just thinking about the Celtics' defensive versatility and the depth. They obviously showed that against the Miami Heat, who don't have near the firepower the Warriors do, but they like to play a relatively similar game. They're going to space you out. They're, like, good basketball won. The teams that play really good defense, the teams that can share the rock, the teams that can shoot from the outside, those wound up being the final four teams, all kind of a similar style. The Mavericks were so Luka-centric, but the other three pretty well balanced. The two best balanced made it to the top of the mountain, and now we'll find out who's the king.
Are you asking me to make my prediction?
No. Let's do predictions last. That's just my first impression on the series. Is, I'm just fascinated to see what the Celtics do defensively, because I do think that they do have what it takes to, like, they can win this series.
Absolutely. When I think about these two teams, I start at the top. I go point guard, and I mean, obviously, kind of like what we did last week. Looking up, the matchups at each position. But both teams have a primary scorer. Both teams have a secondary scorer, and both of those secondary scores can lock you up on the opposite end. They both have guys who lock down the paint in each of their own ways. They both have that third option who can get you between 18 and 25 a game. If it's a really good game.
Who would you say those third options are?
Marcus Smart and Jordan Poole.
Okay.
Wiggins, I always forget about Wiggins. That's why I feel like he would be kind of my X factor, but then you go, hey, they got Al Horford,
Yeah.
So that levels the playing field there. And that's why, like what I was saying earlier, that's why I expect to see some Kuminga. I mean, that everywhere else is matched up, and on the other side it's going to have to be Derek White.
Yeah, that's the name I was going to bring up, because he's been elite defensively.
Yeah,
I got to pull up their StatMuse tweeted something out the other day, so I'm gonna pull that up, because it just hit the nail on the head with just how incredible he's been for their whole playoff run, really. Let's see.
I can't. I mean, the only thing that I would say to like for the Warriors side is they can't come out turn the ball over like they did. Like there were a couple games versus the Grizzlies, versus the Mavs, where they were just extremely like just lackadaisical with the ball, just throwing the ball any other way, all kinds of ways, trying to make plays that weren't all the way there. That's not gonna fly with the Celtics, but at the same time, I do know that teams generally will play to the level of their opponent, and the Celtics are a really good team. So I expect the Warriors to be crisp in their execution, as well as the Celtics.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the best ball from both teams. So here's Derek White defending Lowry, Strus, Oladipo, and Robinson. 188 possessions, 9 points.
I guess all of them?
Guarding them, yeah. 3 of 28 from the field, 1 of 14 from 3, 7 turnovers, and 6 blocked shots.
So who you think he guards? Think he guards Steph?
I think you put him wherever you need him. I think he's going to be on Clay. I think he's going to be on Steph. I think he's going to be on Jordan Poole. I think that they're going to use him the way he needs to be used when he needs to be used.
6'4". Derek White is 6'4".
And what's scary is he's not even the defensive player of the year. You also got that guy.
Oh, Marcus Smart.
Yeah. And so when you consider like the 3-headed splash brother monster that is, Clay, Steph, and Poole, man, the Celtics might be the best task team. They are the best task team. All right, cool. We got Tatum, Brown, White, and Smart.
Don't forget about what are you trying to say here? Because Al Horford's elite defensively, in my opinion, and so is Robert Williams.
I would say, oh yeah, true. And going back to something you said about how everyone's kind of there's like a tit for tat for everything, right? Well, Al Horford's a really good playmaking forward, much like Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. These teams are so similar. And geez, man,
they're similar in different systems, and that's what I'm eager to see is how. I mean, Draymond even said it. I would have to find a clip and show it to you, or post it to the Hoofshadamas if the whatever. But the Draymond admitted it that they have a hard time guarding the Celtics. Like, I mean, he said it like he said he told Shaq on Inside the NBA that they have had a harder time guarding the Celtics than they had with the Miami Heat, which is why he would have preferred to play the Heat, but he knew that they were going to end up playing the Celtics. So it's going to be a great series, man. I'll watch all 7 of those games.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They split the season series, 1 game each. Let me just check, make sure. I don't think Clay was there for the first game. Yeah, because that was in December. But then they met again in March. And the Warriors won in December, 111-107. But then the Celtics, they really kind of put a whooping on them, 110 to 88, 110 to 88. And won the fourth quarter 31-19. Checking if there's any weird injuries or anything that might have swayed that.
Was Draymond playing?
Draymond did play, yeah.
Nice.
But he didn't start. And so he might have been just coming back from something.
Yeah, working him in.
Yeah, he played 22 minutes in that game. So I don't think we can take too much. Honestly, if anything, I don't think we can take much at all from looking at the regular season between these two teams, because they're different monsters. Derek White, that's a deadline move too. And then I think you didn't see him fully come into the way he fits now until the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an adjustment period, and he would have only been on the team a few weeks at that point. And you can make an argument that he's the most or second most important defensive piece on their playoff run. But that kind of brings me to another point. Like Jason Tatum locked up KD in hell, you know, like we like to talk about Tatum's offense. Dude's a really good defender. In the length he has, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Scottie Pippen. He's just strong and he is long, and he plays the off-ball defense incredibly well, and he's tough to shoot over. And so that's where I expect the Celtics to really give the Warriors some problems, because the Celtics, they're the bigger team. You look at what the Warriors did against the Dallas Mavericks, and you know, Kevon Looney's out there looking like Wilt Chamberlain in 1964, pulling down his 20 boards or whatever, you know, because he's pushing around Maxi Kleba. You're not going to be pushing around Time Lord Williams. You're not going to be pushing around Al Horford. I think that the Celtics have the advantage when it comes to size and length, and they're going to be able to stay out on these shooters and leave it to Steve Kerr to find ways to get these guys open. I think the Warriors' ball movement and movement off the ball has to be elite if they are going to pull this off.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see a push and pace trying to beat those big men down the floor before that defense gets set. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be, there's going to have to be a lot of ball movement and player movement on both sides of the ball, really, and for both teams, in order for them to get the shots that they want, those high percentage shots.
Yeah. Efficient shots, smart shots. Udoka, man, he's proven himself to be, I mean, shoot, to make the finals in your first year, who does he think he is? Steve Kerr? Oh, we're back to the Spider-Man meme.
Hey, I mean, the beginning of a dynasty. All those guys are young. They coming into their prime. And Tatum, man, Tatum has that mama mentality, man. Don't sleep on him. He is him. He is him. Don't sleep on Tatum, man. They
All right. Let's play a little game. A spontaneous game here. Let's rank the top 10 players in the series. Number one player in the series, Steph Curry, right? Or is it Tatum? I'm going Steph.
I mean, top 10 player. I mean, based on what they've done now, I would have to go Tatum.
Okay.
Based on what they've done in the playoffs thus far, I would have to go Tatum.
I'm gonna make you a separate list then, because I can't condone that. All right, so you got Tatum at 1. I got Tatum at 2. Tell me you have Curry at 2.
Yes, that's it. Tatum,
of course.
Curry 2. Yeah.
Okay. Now number 3, it gets real interesting. I mean, it's already interesting if we have different 1s and 2s, but I
had to go Klay Thompson.
You got to go Klay?
Just because consistency.
I feel like I got to go Jaylen Brown. And you know I love Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite players of all time. But I got to go Jaylen Brown just because Klay's been really good, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't move the way he did. I don't know. I think Brown's a little bit better offensive player at this point in their careers. Let's look at some stats here. But sell me on Klay.
He just consistent. I mean, he
it is in big games, he's a monster. In the playoffs, 19.8 points per game for Klay, 57.5 true shooting percentage for Jaylen Brown, 22.9 points per game, 59.5 true shooting percentage, both those playoff numbers.
So based off the stats, who's the better player?
Jalen by about 3 points.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's so tight. Number 4, I feel like you could say a handful of guys. You could say Jordan Poole. You could say Al Horford. You could say Marcus Smart. You could say Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm leaning towards Draymond Green. That's why I'm going to put it in my number 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Draymond at 4. And he's going to be so key. We don't talk about him as a playmaker enough. Led the team in assists. He's kind of their Swiss Army knife guy. I think he's the biggest X factor.
He's the motor.
Yeah.
He's the engine.
All right. Number 5.
Tim, you gotta go Robert Williams, man.
Ooh, really? Okay.
And the thing is, like, the reason why I say that is that there are some things that numbers can't capture. Like, dude, I dare Steph Curry to go down that lane trying to throw up one of those little floaters over Robert Williams. He's gonna toss it to the bay. All right. like his reaction time and how he recovers. I mean, just his impact on the defensive end. That alone just puts him up there as, like, number whatever he is, because it's just like I said, just the impact on the game he makes just from being in the game. Doesn't have to do anything, just be in the game. That's how good you are. Gravity.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, so you got him at 5. I'm gonna go Marcus Smart.
Okay. Why so?
Defensive Player of the Year. Just kind of like what you're saying about Robert Williams, the unique aspects he brings to the matchup. I think you can say a lot that same. Instead of interior, I'm talking about perimeter defense. He's going to need to be hounding Clay, Steph, whoever they got him on. But yeah, I mean, I think this exercise just goes to show, like, how deep these teams are.
Yep.
The one thing I did not enjoy is Marcus Smart just tossing up those threes. He almost let the Heat back into that game, just missing threes the other night. Yeah, 3 for 10 from field. Sometimes, I mean, geez, man, the last few games, 1 for 4 from 3. Saturday, he was 1 for 3, or Saturday the 21st. Wednesday, the 25th, 1 for 5. I'm sorry, 1 for 3. 1 for 9 from 3 in the game 6, and then in game 7, he's 3 for 10. And but he's still, he gets the job done in that Sunday win. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Being able to rebound from everywhere is going to be key, because both these teams are going to try to throw a lot of different lineups out there and see what works. And having a guard who can rebound the basketball like that, and having that toughness, because, like, we talk about the similarities between Draymond Green and Al Horford. Well, how about the similarities between Draymond Green and Marcus Smart? Both teams have that Dennis Rodman, like, obviously Draymond Green is a forward and Marcus Smart's a guard, but the tough guy, the enforcer, and they will get in a fight. They are going to get in some sort of tussle. Like, it's inevitable, right? Both those guys like to play with their heart on their sleeve. That's like a matchup that isn't, like, necessarily a matchup, but it's just eventually they will collide. Mm-hmm. And neither one of them is going to back down. Like, whenever that happens, whatever game that happens in, I just can't wait. I don't know what happens there.
When you get a little close to the TV, you like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. He just pulled a PJ Brown. Draymond Green just picked up Marcus Smart, dropped him on his head. Marcus Smart just dove at Draymond's knees. Who knows? It's going to get weird.
It's going to get weird. It's going to get real weird. Especially, can I just say that at first I was not a fan of Marcus Smart's green hair, but now I'm like, if I could do that, I would do that. The green tips.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of Rodman-esque. It's also team colors, Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
We got number 6 so far. You got in this order:
Poole.
Tatum, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Robert Williams.
Yeah, go Poole. Jordan Poole.
I got Poole at 6 as well.
You guys to go Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Third Splash Brother. I think you could make an argument that he's been. Wow.
Got Wiggins.
Yeah, that leads me to a very interesting number 7. I was about to say you could make an argument that Poole has been better than Clay, and I got Clay at 7 here. I think Clay's catch and shoot. I think he's still a really good defender. I don't think he's like as locked down as he used to be, but who knows? He's still coming back. Maybe I went from the guy who was singing Clay's praises to the guy who's underrating him now. Only time will tell. But like I said, it's the depth. It's the depth of the series as a whole that's on display here. Because all of these are like fractionally close.
And we're basing all of this up to this point. Like say one of those guys has had like a bad series. Like you always give Chris Paul crap for having that, we'll say, like for lack of a better word, terrible game 7. Say if one of those guys like Klay Thompson or Jaylen Brown, say one of those guys has a bad series, it's going to tip the scale into the favor of the other team. So, and they've all played. I would say they've all played pretty well up to this point. But
yeah,
none of them can afford to have a bad series.
I will agree with you there. So you got Marcus Smart at 7 then?
Yeah, I would have to go Marcus Smart. Yep.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that. Oh, geez, I really better look at these rosters. But without looking at it,
you probably say Luka Doncic.
I was gonna say Derek White. Thank you very much.
Love you some Luka, man.
Oh, I do. He is deserving of that love.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Boston Celtics, Warriors. I just got to literally get these teams like out in front of me to make sure I'm not just making some sort of egregious oversight, because there's so many key players in this series.
And you got Kuminga over there too. I wouldn't say he's top 10, but he's close.
Yeah.
He's an X factor. I believe he's the X factor.
I got to go Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
I knew there was no oversight, so I'm going Wiggins 8. You going Wiggins 8? Who you going?
Yeah.
Wiggins
goes 8.
All right. Well, number 9, I'm going Derek White then.
Me with Al Horford.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm sticking with Derek White, but Horford has to be my 10.
My 10, I would pick Kuminga over Derek White.
Okay. So in conclusion, Leo, you got Tatum, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Robert Williams, Jordan Poole, Marcus Smart, Andrew Wiggins, Al Horford, Jonathan Kuminga. I got Curry, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Draymond Green. Can't read my handwriting. Marcus Smart, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Derek White, Al Horford. So it's extremely balanced.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing.
And that leads us now. We have to end the episode with our official predictions. Golly. This is tough. So let's go. Who wins? How many games? Finals
Oh,
MVP and
okay.
one X factor to look at.
I'll go first.
Yeah, because I don't know.
So I'm taking the Celtics in 7.
Woo!
I think they can get one game in Golden State. Celtics in 7, and Jason Tatum's your MVP.
I'm going Warriors in 7. I think Steph Curry is your MVP. But I could see some Disney type scenario where it's Klay Thompson. You know, he loves his big games. He hasn't played since 1963. Another fun fact, you know, he hadn't played.
Oh my God, Disney, Disney.
He hadn't played in 60 years. He came back this year.
Oh boy.
You know, both his legs fell off. They had to tape him back on. You good? It was like that scene from Forrest Gump. Klay Thompson had all this metal all over his legs, and all of a sudden he just started running and he dunked all over the Cavs, and they're like, oh, he's back. He looks healthy to me.
Oh, you can see some Disney type scenario where Klay Thompson wins MVP. I mean, the games are on ESPN, right?
Exactly.
They're in the business of fairy tales and, you know, happy endings. I want the Warriors to win, but my just like I want, and the only reason why I'm picking the Celtics is because I picked the Heat to win that series last week. Because I have I'm emotionally biased towards the Heat. This time I am emotionally biased towards the Golden State Warriors because of how much I love watching them play, how much I love Steph Curry, just as a basketball player, as a person. But when I look at the X's and O's and the film, I'm like, the Celtics are due. They are due.
Oh, yeah. I could see it. And that leads me into my X factor, which is experience.
Ooh, nice X factor. And
yeah, I think it just comes down to that. The Warriors have been there before. I don't think that they're going to have any feeling out period. It's not going to be, wow, these are some pretty bright lights. Not saying the Celtics aren't ready for it, but there's a difference between being ready for it and been there. And I think that the Warriors are going to come in knowing exactly what it takes to win a championship in a 7-game series. They're ready for this moment. They've been there before. And it's weird because you look at all this team has accomplished, and then Kevin Durant leaves, and the Warriors really are one of the worst teams in the league briefly. Klay Thompson's injury. In a weird way, it turned them back into an underdog. And I think they got a chip on their shoulder. And I think that they are going to make that into some chalkboard material. And I think they're going to come out playing elite Warriors basketball from the opening tip. I think the Celtics are going to get there. I think the Celtics are going to be crisp and clean, but I think that they're going to have just a little bit of a feeling out period. We both have this going 7 games. I think that's enough to push the scale in the favor of the Warriors. My cryptic message with the Heat and the Celtics, I said that the Celtics were the better team and the Heat were scrappier. I think the Celtics match up better with the Warriors than the Warriors match up with the Celtics. I think the Warriors' experience is enough to get them the championship.
I would agree. I would agree there. The only thing that I would add is I would add as my X factor, and again, I mean, I've said his name a couple times here in this podcast, is I'm expecting to see some Kuminga. The Steve Kerr has been getting him reps here and there throughout the playoffs. and he's gonna I think he's gonna be that. In a perfect world, everybody stays healthy, everybody's good. He's going to be that one variable that kind of tips the scale slightly into Golden State's favor. But the Celtics, the game plan is, hey, let's just win one game away, and the home court's in our favor. And you know how amazing our fans are. That's another thing. Both franchises have a awesome fan base. So the home crowd is going to be rocking.
Warriors do have the home court advantage.
They do. So what I'm saying is the Celtics, all they have to do is win one game.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then they win one game at the Warriors' place, and then they have home court advantage.
Okay.
And if they can do that, then game 6 ends up in Boston. Bro, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, in order for the Celtics to win the championship, they're gonna have to win in 7 games. They're gonna have to win game 7 in Oakland.
They won in Miami,
which is possible.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, that'll do it, folks. NBA Finals preview edition. Hoops Drama Podcast. If you enjoy the show, please give us a friendly rating wherever you listen. We appreciate you. Closing thoughts, Coach Leo.
Hey, just appreciate all the support. Love y'all. Basketball is amazing. We appreciate the support, and happy NBA Finals. Happy NBA Finals.
Happy Finals, folks. We'll see you next time.